Yeah, joint stock company. Joint stock company first came into beginning in the 18th century in Britain and were mainly concerned with foreign trade. Initially, the organizational form was viewed with suspicion. It's being supposed that it's encouraged managerial efficiency and corruption. A corporation chartered by the state in which it is headquartered is considered by law to be any entity separated apart from those who owned it. And according to H.L. Haney, a joint stock company is a voluntary association of individual for profit, having its capital divided into transferable shares. The ownership, which is the condition of membership. Now we are going to see about the characteristics of joint stock company. First one is compulsory incorporation. A company is a voluntary association of persons unincorporated under the existence of common law. Under the existing common law, only when it gets certificate of incorporation, it becomes into existence as a body corporate. And second one is artificial person. A company is an artificial person created by law. It is created by legal process, not only by natural, even though it has no natural personality, it has legal personality. Therefore, it can enter into contracts, sue, and can be sued, own property, appoint employees, and borrowing money like any natural person. And it has common seal. Since a company is an artificial person having no physical features like a natural person, it cannot sign. Hence, every company by law must have a common seal in which the name is engraved, and the common seal can serve as its signature. The common seal is fixed on all important documents and contracts, which is witnessed by a signature of two directors and countersigned by secretary wherever required. The common seal is kept under the custody of directors. And next one is perpetual succession. That means since every company has separate existence from its members, directors and employees, their death, insolvency, or insanity will not affect its life and existence. Men may come and they may go, but the company remains forever. It can be owned up under the provision of the act, and it has limited liability. Usually, the liability of members of a company is limited to the extent of uncalled or unpaid shares held by them, and their personal property cannot be seized to meet the company's liability beyond the above mentioned liability. And next one is share capital. The capital required by the company is raised by the issue of shares. The share is a document that acknowledges the ownership of the company. The members who hold the share of a company can transfer its ownership to any other person without the company's permission. And next one is the separation of ownership and capital. In company organization, the ownership and management are separate, and the shareholders who are the owners do not take active part in everyday affairs of the company. Instead, they elect their representative known as directors, who with the help of managers and employees manage the company. Thus, there is division of labor and specialization. And eighth one is legal entities. Since the company is created by law, it has separate legal existence compared to its member. Therefore, the members cannot be personally held responsible for the acts of company, and company cannot be held liable for the acts of the members. And the next one is a large membership. The company is owned by a large number of members, maximum of 50 in case of private limited company, and unlimited number of members in case of the private limited company. And now we are going to see about the merits of joint stock company. That is, first one is the large capital. A company can collect huge capital for the business through shares and debentures, public deposits, loan, etc. Due to the huge capital, the company can conduct business on a large scale. And the next one is limited liability. Usually, the liability of members of a company is limited to the extent or uncalled or unpaid shares held by them. The personal property cannot be seized to meet the company's liability beyond the above mentioned liability. And next one is continuity and stability. That means death, insolvency, or insanity of any member of the company will not affect its life and existence. Men may come and they may go, but the company remains forever. It can be owned up under the provision of the Act. And the next one is professional management. That means the company appoint experienced, competent, and expert to manage the business, and their services led to managerial and administrative efficiency and accuracy. And the fifth one is economies of scale, that a company operate on a high scale and so it enjoys economies in production, distribution, management, and financing. And the sixth one is bargaining power. Compared to other forms of organization, a joint stock company is a strong power in buying as well as in selling of goods because of its large scale production. And legal status. Since the company is created by law, it has a separate legal existence compared to its members. Therefore, the members cannot be personally held responsible for the acts of company, and company cannot be held liable for the acts of the members. And the eighth one is large membership. The company is owned by large number of members, maximum of 50 in case of private limited company, and unlimited number of members in case of public limited company. And the ninth one is transferability of shares. And shares of joint stock company, especially public companies, are freely transferable. A member who wants to sell his shares can easily do so in the stock market. This encourages the public and others to invest in shares. And the 10th one is employment. A joint stock company provides employment to a large number of people directly and indirectly. This leads to higher national income for the country and a higher living standard of living for the people. And the 11th one is government revenue. Joint stock companies provide revenue to the government in the form of taxes charged directly and indirectly. And the 12th one is research and development. Joint stock companies undertakes R&D continuously, thus bringing about new and improved products which benefits people. And the last one is economic development. Because of the joint stock company, there is all-round development of trade, commerce, and industry. The society in general gains the benefit of the industrial development. Large capital, government revenue, economics development, etc. are the advantages of joint stock company. Now we are going to see about the demerits of the joint stock company. The first one is difficult formation. That is, the formation of joint stock company is an expensive and time-consuming process, as a number of legal formalities have to be undertaken in order to register the company. And next one is it lacks flexibility. That means the working of joint stock company is less flexible as compared to the other organization. For a very small thing, they either have to follow a detailed procedure or obtain transactions from various authorities. This results in lacks of flexibility, and there is no business secrecy. The form of the organization lacks business secrecy because it is compulsory for the company to publish accounts and other records. And next one is excessive government regulations. The company is subject to excessive government control. It has to follow the numerous provisions for the Companies Act. This makes working difficult. And next one is delay in decision. The joint stock company is completely not free to take all decisions and to implement the decisions. Due to excessive government control and democratic setup, all decisions are taken in meeting, and some decisions require shareholders' approval, and all this leads to delay in decisions. And sixth one is lack of contact with the customer. A company can be in a position to maintain intimate contact with the customers. It cannot be able it cannot be able to enter to the requirements of each and every customer. So there is no close personal touch, which decreases the competitive strength of the business due to large scale of production, and there is no lack of contact with the employees too. So the top management may not have contact with their employees. This may cause friction and disputes among the management and the employees, which may affect the workers and employee morale. And the eighth one is conflict of interest. So many people are the owners of the joint stock company. This can there can be misunderstanding and jealousy among them, and this cause problem in operation of business and profit making. And the next one is ninth one is it's not suitable for all type of business. This type of organization is not suitable for business where personalized services are required. And the last one is exploitation of shareholders. Sometimes the board of directors may misappropriate the fund and mislead the shareholders by window dress report. The directors may even manipulate the trading on the stock exchange. Thus, the shareholders can be exploited by corrupt directors.